Boom. I can open better in here, eh? Boom. Let me see about moving this table for you too. Get a little less light bleed. Maybe goes right over that, huh? Let's see how that works. Especially we can tilt this down and out of the light. Perfect. Just wanted to come on, say Merry Christmas, answer any questions you guys might have about, I guess we'd say, the state of Olympus at the end of the year, kind of where things are, as far as like a year in review kind of goes, and how everything is going with y'all. That's it. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. Didn't really have a plan. Honestly, just had some extra time, which I never get. I wanted to bop on and say hi at the end of the year. Quick review for 2020 and what 2020 really has meant for us, both good and bad, and there is some of both. So far in 2020, our hatching season has been way better than 2019. I'm very thankful for that. We are fully moved into our reptile house. I'm very thankful for that. So those are two really good things about 2020. I got to add some dream animals, my banded rock rattlesnakes. We got a killer zebra bee axanthic now. So that's been really good in 2020. Oh yeah, I've got bells on hand. I mean, always, but I've got a couple, I think, right now. Not a ton, but I've got bells. Like bells or something. But I can tell you, I haven't released them for sale yet. When we do, we will release them on Patreon, assuming they'll do well. I've had one of my clutches that was a bell clutch has had some struggles. So we're having to work through one of them. I've got another one that's doing just fine. Of course we ship. Now this time of year it's really hard. I won't ship when it's too cold, so we are waiting for better weather. But we do ship. 2020 has left some diamonds in the rough for sure. It is. And I'm not going to get into everything that happened in the world throughout 2020 because I can't control that. And if there's one thing I've learned, man, it's focus on the things that you can control and don't focus on the things you can't. I mean, let the world settle that. Let whatever you believe in. For me, God will fix that. Whatever you believe will fix that. It's kind of where it is. And thank you, Toxic. I appreciate that. So, Tara, it's funny you should ask that. So for our website, it would be www.patreon.com/Olympus Reptiles. It does come with a fee. We have a VIP membership. It starts at $5. It gives you double the content. It gives you access to not just my animals, but on Discord, there is a buy and sell page. It's all people who now know each other because they focus together. So you're able to buy and sell animals on there. They usually have whatever I don't have. Access to like assistance from me or from others who know what they're doing. So there's a lot that comes with that. But all of our animals are released there first. And I haven't released an animal to the general public quite a while. I mean, I guess you could say I did do a show in Manhattan 2 years ago where I think I took 6 animals and 4 of them were normals. So, I mean, it takes care of that. What's going on there in Australia? That is pretty awesome. So that's where you'd go. I mean, I'd suggest checking it out. And that was going to be one of our things for folks for 2020 too. So 2020 also brought us moving to the Reptile House fully. And it brought us things like Patreon kind of growing. But then with COVID, it stunk, It is about time to see there's not that much empty space you can see from here. Because when you see that purple wall there, if I add a rack there, then this rack can't open. It'll actually bump into it. I've got room for one more rack in the baby room there. And then there's really not any room over here. That wall that you can kind of see rock on, I can't predict because if you look close, there's racks on this side. And if we were to open those up, they wouldn't work. Let me take you quick around the room and show you something else where the expansion will be. So when we do expand, we'll expand into this blank space. There will be one here at the windows, and of course into that blank space. That is about all we have. Over here in between, there will be some room for some racks eventually. But right now, the poster child for the video is in that one with the blue top, and that's where the young gaboon lives. So it is pretty full. What's going on there, Corey? And Corey is one of our members too, but we asked about snakes available who uses that buy sell page on Patreon. So if you have questions, he can help with that too. But I did want to talk about, like I say, year in review for 2020. So some of the things that went good, some of the things that went bad. And one of the things I highlight ourselves as is transparency. With that transparency, more cuddly. I need to get better lighting in there to do some videos in there. With that transparency, I know you guys will catch every video because one, YouTube hates my guts and it doesn't promote us. And even if you sign up, it probably won't give you the marks. You gotta check this out. And two is just who's gonna watch all that content. So we did have some stubs of our toes. Our Suma clutches this year, those were both south. I think it was new male plus combo of different things. But our hatch rate's probably sitting right around that 95%. So that is really, really cool. Ty Jacks, we got all kinds of snakes we show. This is a little bit different of a situation that we're doing. So this is just kind of talking about how the year's gone, wrapping up the year of 2020. And, but for a prime example of how YouTube hates us, we're set at 18 people right now, where we used to set about 130. So it just is not definitely putting us out there at all. To the invert arena, I probably will not get into the invertebrate arena. I don't see that. But also on the bad front is, we had another company we were working with that closed, and that's a real bummer. It's a bummer for us. I mean, we had things we were waiting on from them as well. I know other people were, and it does leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And I get it. I do, and it's a lesson learned for me. I mean, I can't control that, but we also really wanted to support these smaller upstart companies. I mean, it's important to me that I did that because I wanted people to get that breakout chance, and I wanted to promote that. And unfortunately, it just, it didn't work out. There's a lot of reasons for that, some of which I know, some of which I don't know, and probably never will, and they don't owe me an explanation, to be honest. But that was a low light of 2020, so that kind of sucked. And will probably be less likely now because we've had that, happen with the more established company too in TGR. And then to have it with the Pride of Texas, unfortunately, not be able to stay open. We're going to have to really evaluate when we do that to make sure that, they're going to be able to fill what comes. Right now, it wouldn't be that hard because we don't get that much promotion. But obviously, I mean, it can be difficult. Hell, I have trouble keeping up, and I'm not making racks, so I get it. But that was a low light of 2020 for us. But all in all, I'm very happy with the year. I'm very happy with where the future is going. Looking at my pairings, we're getting quite a few locks. We're running our males through. Just kind of started really the beginning of November, end of October. So we're only 6 weeks in, and it's going really good. What's up, Patrick and Josh? So I'm really happy with where we're at in 2020. I do have some goals for 2021. One of those goals would be, in 2021, I would like to be pairing more snakes at the end of the year than I'm pairing now. It's going to be hard, but I have to get some space for them and move some things around. That's easy fix. So I would like to be doing that. That's a goal. Also in 2021, I want to do two things. One, I want to grow our Patreon some more because it really does truly help. And two, I want to change that, change what it is. And what I mean by that is keep everything we're doing because I really like it, but also focus more on what the community can do and let that community become this thing that I think could be very positive for the entire reptile industry. Let it continue to be a safe spot for people to come who are new and get help without being berated, without being torn down by Facebook, without being told, that, like my favorite quote, not my favorite, my most hated quote, but I see it all the time when you go on Facebook, you should have done more research before you bought a snake. Well, why the hell do you think they're coming to people? They're coming to those. And yeah, you know what? Maybe they should have done more research before they had the snake and came online. But guess what? They're doing it now. And if we chastise those people, we tear them down, they're not going to ask questions. They're going to leave the hobby. They're not going to improve. They're going to think all these reptile keepers are a bunch of assholes. And I'm not cool with that. So I want to make a place where we get those people to come to us. And by us, I don't mean me. I want to stress that. They can come to me, but I'm going to be a small piece of that entire puzzle. But come to that and get on that Discord and find this place, which has become very special. You don't have to say much on there because people do all kinds of crazy stuff. It is, see what I'm saying? I didn't even know that's happening, Patrick. That's news to me. But that kind of thing is awesome. It's also becoming a place where people can buy and sell, right? Without fear or less fear. There's always a fear of being scammed. And we're going to make those rules where, like, if you're on there for 2 months, is what we're looking at, or 3 months, then they'll open. Now, if you're already on there, you're good. open up the ability to be able to sell. Buy, I don't care, but sell. So that way they're there for a while. That way people can talk to them, know they're real. We don't get some about. Have a place to sell. And people are like, well, I don't want to pay to sell my snakes. But if you go on Morph Market, you're doing the same thing, right? You have to go on Morph Market. You have to pay money if you want to run more than one picture and do all this, have more than one ad. And guess what? Somebody who's buying it from you is probably scamming you or could be scamming you. And that sucks. What's going on, Teresa? So what we want to do is make a safe buy-sell place from reptile people that we know. And if somebody is scamming, we will remove them even though it costs us money. We also want to make that a safe place for people to go and get information. It's also growing beyond ball pythons. I know there are several members on there who have worked with other things, whether it be green trees, different lizards, all kinds of really cool things. Oh, you saw Kurt's Creatures? That is not our Curtis, but welcome Kurt's Creatures. I don't think it is. So anyway, those are the things that we're doing. I know a lot of you on here are already on our Patreon, but if you're not, I would strongly suggest, man, check it out. And the best time to do that, right? The best time to do that, I'll tell you now, is January 1st. Here is why. You're going to come in, because it's going to charge you when you sign up. So, wait till January 1st, get through Christmas, right? That's a new curse in the community. Awesome. And then you'll have that whole first month to see if you like it. If you don't like it, you have $5. Sorry, man. If you do like it and you see the potential, then you can stay and bring others in and get that help. That's what I want to grow. I want to grow something that is good. And I know people say, well, why do we have to charge for it? Well, there's a couple reasons. One is because it's part of our business plan. I'll be blunt. I'm not going to lie to you. And number two is beyond that, right? And if we can grow it enough, it's actually going to have somebody who is on staff to take care of that, to help with that, so it'll run smooth, even though I'm working a full-time job. So yeah, right? It's a dart tournament top of Texas. Nice. I have not tried to breed Khalid, but I'll get to that. So there's a plan in place for that. But what we'll end up doing is having that person on staff just to manage Discord, and they'll be able to dedicate more time to it and things like that, which they already do a good job anyway. And on top of that, I have found something. If you have a fee to be involved in something, I want you to think about it. Anybody here, you don't have to admit to it if you have ever used online dating. I have online dating. I've used free service, and everything else, and paid one. And I'll tell you what, when you're using the free online dating, you tend to get more weird sons of bitches on there, right? And people who are not really there for the right reason. Spell check, did I misspell something when I popped this on? It's probably me, I do that, right? And all of these things, but when you go to one that you pay to do it, more people on there are serious. They're about helping. They're about, like on the dating site, they're truly about dating. They're not just about trying to, get that one-nighter in. So, and that's a true story, because I'd use a paid one when I was working evenings nights to meet people I cared about. I'd use the one that was free, yeah. Anywho, it's kind of the same thing here. If it was just free and open, all those same people on Facebook who are jackasses would be there being jackasses on ours, and it's too much to keep up with. It just is. There's no way we can manage that. If it's not free, then jackasses probably aren't going to pay to be there. I'm just going to say that right out. So that is another reason why it has to be paid. There is a top end of it. It tops out at 810 total people, so we're not quite halfway there. We were at one point over 300, but COVID kind of kicked us in the balls. So come check it out. And that's what I wanted to share. And congratulations to USMC, the Marine Corps. I appreciate that. So, one thing I want to ask too is, now that I'm off my soapbox talking about how much I love what's happening there, and it ain't even me doing it. And you also are not going to find another reptile page like that is dedicated to a channel per se, which is absolutely not dedicated to a channel anymore. That's going to allow you to sell your animals on their channel. You ain't going to find it, right? So, but we do that because we want it to be a community. Okay, so here's what I want to know now. I know some of you said show some snakes. We could probably get to that, although I got to be careful because a lot of them are breeding right now. What do you guys want to know about 2020? Do you guys have any questions about what took place in 2020 at Olympus? That's what today's for. A little bit of spare time. Wanted to kind of bang that out, give you guys a chance to get a year update from my point of view and answer any questions you have about our year in 2020, what we got, where it's going, what our plans are, and some of that will be video preview because, like, I'm sure we'll do video some of that. Thank you for all of you guys who are saying that, and for you all on Patreon, if you really like it, man, do me a solid, get on those places on Facebook, get on those places, other places when you see those people who you could use that, and bring them into the fold, man, bring them into the family, and let's make something really special across the board. Make it strong and make it last. Blitz babies. Yes, Blitz babies are here. As a matter of fact, we have some straight Blitz. We have some Blitz Orange Dream and some Blitz Leopard and some Blitz Pastel Leopard, I think, is what we're setting on right now. We are getting them to size, and then we'll be parting with them. For those of you on Patreon, I'll kind of talk about this when we get to your channel or your video anyway. I probably won't drop a list until January, so I'll let people get through Christmas. We just finished up the last list we did. I think it was in December. And, I'll probably wait till like mid to late January. And we want to also kind of, get to where we can start shipping stuff because it got cold on us pretty quick. So it is what it is. But, when we can't ship when it's lows in the 20s, I really like my low to be 40. You could probably go down to about 37. 40 gives you a little bit of leeway, so 40 is good. That's what we're really looking for. So that's what we're waiting on. As far as my highlight, I believe it was asked from Corey, what do you suppose the highest point for Olympus in 2020? What's going on, David W? We missed you, buddy. By the way, somebody said that you thought I was mad at you or something. Dude, you're a friend of mine. I'm not mad at you. I got no reason to be mad at all. Now, the highlight of 2020 for Olympus. Oh, man, there's several. Probably if I had to put my finger on it, I would say it was no way. What do you mean no way? It'd probably be hatching the Kryptons, man. Just because, why is the quality so low? Well, it could be on your end, it could be on my end. Basically, we've ordered internet here, but they have to tunnel the fiber optics in. So, like 2 flat tires, it's funny. And we're waiting on them to do that. Work order, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So hopefully it's on your end, because on my end, everybody's getting bad quality. But we will be getting that fixed. We've got the work order in. It's just a matter of the internet company getting their ass out here and actually getting it done. Because that's one of the things we want to improve, right? It was an awesome surprise. And I think that's the thing, because, it shocked me. It shocked me like crazy to see those. And I didn't know what was going on. And the cool thing is a few people here right away knew. They're like, boom, this is it. Boom, this is it. And then we reached out and confirmed that's what's going on. So that was probably the highlight. I also think hatching the number of zebra bees I did was a highlight. I love hatching those little dudes. So that was really cool. The low point for me was, if I have to pick a low point, it was probably losing Lilith. Man, that was kind of devastating. Honestly, I didn't want to talk to people for a day or so, or to talk to anybody. And anytime I did, I kind of had to fake it, because that kicked me right square in the balls, man. But I'll show you really quick. The new Gaboon is doing wonderful. Speaking of venomous snakes, for those of you that don't know, if you check out David W there on TikTok, he does a lot of venomous stuff. So there's a new Gabby. Her colors are doing really nice. Tell you what, you want to do something crazy? Let's do something crazy. I think with where she's at, I can get you guys fairly up close and personal, and do it safely. Well, maybe. Let me try that again. There we go. Check that out. That is about as close as I can get and do it safely. Give you an idea of her colors there. Looking really, really nice, actually. Okay, we'll pull that back out. Flip this back around. Actually, before I flip that back around, I'll show you what we do every time. First of all, make sure the bolt closed. And notice, keep my hands not inside. And got one latch done. Second latch done. Third latch broke, so I made my own. And that just ensures I don't forget anything. Yeah, she is really nice. I have been really happy with her. And she eats good. And we did change how we kept her. I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm gonna screw shit up, and I know there's people who like, well, man, you find me somebody ain't screwing something up. I guarantee you, right? I guarantee you, even the top people that you've heard of, the people, these are people I look up to. You're JKRs of the world, you're Kevin of the world. I look up to those two people. Brian Barczyk, I know that's controversial, but I look up to those folks, and they've screwed up, right? I guarantee you, they've totally screwed up multiple times, and they'll do it again, all three of them. And so will I, and so will you if you keep animals. It's gonna happen. Some screw ups are worse than others, but nobody's perfect. And if the expectation is perfection, then you know we ain't ever gonna meet it, right? So my goal is always to improve. So we definitely improved as a keeper. Somebody said they were talking about wanting to. Well, we'll talk about that on Patreon. That's something I'll talk to you guys about. Get some ideas and kind of figure it out. And we did, and we'd read her stuff, but I just enjoyed feeding her too much. They start getting size on them. You can't overfeed them. I think I did that, and then she will lay in one spot, and she kind of locked humidity in, laid in humidity too much, and of course you're not inspecting the body as much as you are in some things, or as close, because they're can kill you. It's time we noticed, started trying to fix it. It just crashed on us, and so we're not making the same mistakes here. We're keeping the cage actually drier with a misting instead of a pretty good spray, which we would use a hose before, and also giving her regular baths. I'm also teaching her to drink, which you can teach one to drink. It's yeah. You know what, Kurt's Creatures, you're absolutely right. But there are people, no matter what, no matter where you're at in this hobby, if you're breeding, there are going to be, hey, Marvel Balls, what's going on? There are going to be people who are going to try to tear you down. It's just what it is. So yeah, there's that. Oh, one thing else I want to mention, and then we'll probably look at sliding over to Patreon, because I haven't even had my dinner yet. I just want to come over and check this out. Had to check and make sure Sobek ate something, which he did. Another thing we're going to try to do this year, and Daniel, I think you probably have snakes available on our Patreon even. Crabs in a bucket disease. One of the things we're going to try to do this year with the patrons, have Patreon meetups. Now they won't. There's going to be a little bit for you guys out there, like in Cali and Florida. I know it's going to be difficult. Marble Balls is like in the UK. It's going to be a little on the difficult side, but for those of you more local, or if those of you sign up local, you'll be talking about meetup things like, one of the ones I'm really focused on right now is maybe doing one in Omaha at the zoo at Henry Dorley. Say, hey, this day, this time, we're all going to get together who can go and just kind of go and take that place over and paint that bitch purple, and all kind of get to meet and greet and know each other. The same people you're buying and selling with, and the same people that you're conversing with, and now you get to actually see them and experience things together. We'd like to do more of those throughout the country. I know you are. We got to kind of try to plan that when you're here. Daniel, I'd love to do a California. California is very hard for me because I'm located in Kansas. Kurt's, the best way to do it is you just go to Patreon. I can't put a link on here. Maybe somebody else can type one in for me. But if you just go to Patreon and search Olympus Reptiles, will pop right up. And there's different levels. You get everything like access to sales, all that main access starts at the $5 level. Well, and you mentioned that, chat, and we probably will look at doing some things like that. So one of the ways it may work, I haven't told my wife this yet, is we travel fairly often. I'm a person that I need to travel, so is she. It's how we kind of recharge our battery. We get away, we put everything away in the stressful daily world, and go, Yeah, she is going to come. We're going to try to set up when she's here. But it's like we also use like timeshare condos when we travel. And so it may be one of those things that, hey, when I go to here, if we go to South Carolina, right, because we got Myrtle Beach right there, it is a great vacation spot. We've never been. I've never been. She has. I want to go. We might go, and we might set hey, look, here's an animal place here. Let's have a meet and greet there, right? And go boom, and go do it. Those kind of things. And yeah, of course, we got to wait till COVID clears up, or they quit being stupid about closing stuff down. I'll be honest, I don't bother me any. But and happy birthday to somebody's birthday. Sorry I missed it. But California, it's a long ways. Well, I'm not saying it'll never happen, but the first few attempts, I'll be honest, will likely be closer to home. Somebody mentioned Olympus Fest. You guys saw the kitchen coming along. We're getting closer to where we could actually host something like a regional, or whoever wants to make it, like summertime breeder party, like, reptile enthusiast pool party here at the Olympus House. That is something we want to do. So there's all kinds of cool shit like that we're after. All right, any other questions about 2020? I kind of covered where I want to go, what I think is a highlight, low light. If you guys have a question about 2020, I want to let you know, like, what we did, where we're at. I saw that Marvel ball. Somebody is using my logo on TikTok. It made me feel pretty good, actually, because the fact somebody's trying to fake us maybe means we were famous, although I don't think so, because it's all written in a foreign language, and it just plays like weird music that shows like a beach. I think their name is Olympus Reptiles 1, or ours is Olympus Reptiles. It's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. But yes, somebody is using our logo on TikTok. Texas, maybe. And, a lot of them will probably be centered around maybe going to like an animal rescue, not Carol Baskins because I'm afraid she'll feed me to tigers, but other places, like I know there's a cool one in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. So maybe when we go to Eureka Springs, we're going to go to that thing. We might say, hey, let's do a Patreon meet and greet that day. We're all going to go see this sanctuary. Or Omaha Zoo, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe we'll go to an amusement park. Fuck, I don't know. We'll plan some fun stuff. Come to the LBK. So LBK, help me out with that. What is LBK for that, Patrick? Because one of the goals I do have in life, a little personal goal, is to make it to all 10 Big 12 stadiums. I know you got to let that sink in. It's called the Big 12. We got 10 stadiums. I've got 2 off my list. I got 8 to go, so definitely there. Lubbock, gotcha. There is a lot of cool stuff in Texas. I'm not anti-Texas at all, and it's not that far from me, to be honest. So there you go, Daniel. If you work there, it may be something we do. TCU, another one on my list. So, all right, guys. Well, tell you what, we've been at this for 27 minutes exactly now. Let me jump off here. WVU, and I do want to hit West Virginia. They kick the shit out of us every time. I don't know what it is. Like, even this year, you guys straight beat us into a pulp. We only had half a team. But even last year, like, West Virginia was way down. They showed up to Manhattan and beat our ass and went home. And I was like, what happened? We can beat OU, but not West Virginia? It's crazy. And if we do a big show, like if we're ever going to another large show, like Daytona, I go to Daytona a lot, we will put it out there. Like, hey, we're going to Daytona. And if it's a 2-day show, then what we're going to do is, like last week did there, we had a Patreon dinner where we kind of just made reservations. We all went, we all ate together, had drinks together, just kind of hung out. I mean, it was low pressure. It was just meet and greet, see everybody. It was a blast, So we'll do things like that too. People are interested. As long as people are interested, we want to go out there and meet folks. We did try to do it another time in Tennessee, in Gatlinburg. But the issue with that was kind of on me. I put it out there real late because it was kind of an idea I had while I was there, and nobody could plan for it. But we did get to hang out with one of our members who lives there in Gatlinburg, so that was pretty cool. All right. If nobody has any questions about 2020, thank you, Kurt. It was my jaw dropped when we saw it too. Like I honestly was like, "What the hell is this?" when I cut it. It was pretty amazing. That's why we do those live cuttings. And people always get like, wow, I didn't see enough of the snake, or cut more, or do this. Going off the charts, John, I don't worry about COVID. It'll be a while before I go anywhere. I'll be in Branson, Missouri over New Year's with some family, but and then I'm looking at maybe Vegas in March. I mean, so there's some things I'm doing, but if I get COVID, I get COVID. I don't really give a shit. I may have already had it, I may not have. And when the vaccine comes, I'm going to go ahead and get popped with the 2 shots, just because, it'll be easier for others to not worry when I go somewhere. For me, I have no fear of it. I'm such a low risk. I'll have a 99.98 survival rating, and I choose to play with venomous snakes for a hobby. So I think my hobby is more dangerous to my chances of living than COVID. Screw it. Kind of where I'm at. Right? Kali is an Okie, actually. She literally is. She was caught wild in Oklahoma, so that is truth. Kali is an Okie. She probably is an OU fan. I could have. Oh, you know what? What I might do then is when I get my males here, they're both from Oklahoma Wildcat too. I never did name them. I only named her. I will name whatever male breeds her Boomer. How about that? Just for you Big 12 folks, And to honor my brother, who's a big OU fan, even though I can't fix him, we'll name the red male Boomer. That way you get a little Boomer Sooner in there just for you guys, right? All right, but let me hop over here. I don't see any more questions, and we're going to slide over to Patreon and talk about some of those things there too. David, I know you're an OU fan, and plus my brother's also a David, and he's an OU fan. He actually has an OU tattoo of all things. So I keep thinking I should go get a power cat and make it bigger than his OU just to screw with them, you know? Ah, right? But see, where we're at, they always do the horns for Texas down, too. I don't know how many of you do the horns down. But, well, now you can't do that. You get kicked out of the game for doing the horns down. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. Hopefully your 2020 had a silver lining, wasn't all crap. And I also wish everybody on here and everybody not on here. As a matter of fact, I even wish the people who want me to fail have a better 2021 than they did 2020, because there's no reason to sit there and live in a world of hate, right? All right, thank you guys. We'll see you next time.